Okay, my name is Nancy, by the way. I'm so sorry I did not introduce myself. Nancy Valentini, your name. And Pastor Tammy tells me we're ready to roll, and Daryl says we're
You know what,
good.
Nancy, I don't know how long it's gonna take for them, so I would just go ahead and start. I don't know when she's coming back.
Okay, so you want to just start now? Do they have what they need to write with and all of that?
They do have something, I'm gonna go get books right now,
Okay.
and something harder.
Okay. Okay. All right, so we can just chat a little bit till we get everything together here. If you had to guess, I don't know, maybe your parents or your phone keeps track of this, how much screen time do each one of you spend a day? Ethan, what do you think? Do you know, or did you guess? No clue? Anybody? Nathan? 4 hours. Ellie, what do you think? An hour? Okay. And Jace, what do you think? 7. Okay, so you're my example right there. A lot of screen time. So, okay. Yes. All right, very good. Very good, making the point there. Most of the information we take in, would you believe me if I told you most of the information that your brain takes in is what you see? It's visual. Some studies say up to 90%. Mike, is that a little scary? 90%? Oh, I didn't get Judah. Judah, how much screen time do you have a day, hon? I don't know, your dad's listening, so, just be careful with your answer here, buddy. Don't lie, because we're in church, right? We don't want to lie. Because you guys are homeschooled, so mom's keeping a close eye, isn't she? She's probably timing, right?
No, like our devices, some of these swings.
Ah, so they
Go too late.
rat you out. Is that what you're saying,
They
Judah?
take pictures.
Okay. You like take pictures of what you're wanting to watch? Is that what you do? Okay, yeah. Okay, so we're getting the point. The point's already been made that a lot of what we take in every day is not necessarily what we hear, but it's what we see. Many times hear and see. And we're going to be actually working on scripting a song here towards the end. How many of you are familiar with the band Unspoken? No. Too old for you? Hopefully not. No? Okay. Actually, we'll need Daryl to pull that up too. Okay, so what we're going to do towards the end is we're going to actually take just the chorus of a song and have you write video. Daryl, one more thing I did need to ask you, I'm so sorry. We talked about this song, Unspoken song. Is there a way that we can pull that up, or can I bring it up on my phone and put it up to the mic? How would you want us to do that? We just need to. Actually, while you're getting ready, let me get a copy of the lyrics. And they have a lyric video, which is on YouTube, which will be probably the best thing we could do. We can just play the whole song, and then we can just work with the chorus. I wasn't able to get it downloaded, unfortunately. But all right, everybody has pencil, something to write with, paper. Okay, I'm going to take some notes for production, so that would be a good thing. Okay. I guess we'll just go ahead and start. If you got something to write with and something to write on, we're good to go. So as we were saying a few minutes ago, most of the information that we take in every day is visual. If you have a phone, you have access to whatever devices that you have in your house, then you can understand that that's very true, and it's a reason to try to share the Word of God, the gospel, the good news, with using video and sound. So if most of what we take in a day is visual, then that's what we're wanting to learn how to do, is to create a message that way. Our brains process, if you can believe this, our brains process visual information faster than actually it does what we hear. Does that make sense? Okay, if you think about, how many, just think about, maybe you give me some examples from your own experience. Give me some examples of messages that you see that you never hear anything related to it. What kind of messages would those be? You see someone in a distance, can they communicate without even talking or saying something you can hear? Okay, so example, Nathan, would be what? Are you on a sports team by chance? Okay, talk to me about sports teams communicating without words. How does that work? What would be an example of that? Coach? Maybe? Does your coach ever... Oh, yeah. Anyone that's on a sports team, okay, you see what Nathan's doing? Is Nathan using any words? Go ahead and put your hand up high, honey, and do it again. Some calls. Do you hear Nathan saying anything, guys? Is he communicating something very specific, though? May not know what it is, but is he communicating? Yeah. Jace, do you do sports? Okay. Umps, do umps communicate all the time? Uh-huh. And if people don't listen on the team, does it cause problems? Yes, right? Never a word spoken unless it's in anger, right, Jace? And the umpire gets mad or something. But, so what we take in many times is visual, may not even include sound, and our brain actually can process that faster than what we hear. Okay, so there's a principle that's involved in learning that says this, that the more of your five senses that you involve or include in the learning process, maybe you've heard pastors talk about this even at church. The more of your five senses that you use in the learning process, the easier a person will understand and remember the message. Does that make sense, guys? Okay, so with a video, how many senses do you know, not counting the fingers, right? Keep the fingers out of it, but how many of the senses are involved when you're taking in videos? Thank you, Nathan. So you're hearing and you're seeing. Again, I guess we could maybe cheat and say you're touching, Judah, because your fingers are on the device, right? I don't know, maybe that counts. What do you think, Mike? Does that count or not? No? Okay, strike the touching. So the hearing and the seeing, so if we're presenting a message and two of our senses are being used, we're going to understand it easier and remember it longer than just maybe what we could read on a page. Okay, so again, just another point for using video and getting a message across. Now, social media, again, I don't have to convince you of anything because you guys know this. Social media is the absolute best way to get a message around the world. Okay, can you tell me any programs you might watch that were not produced in the U.S.? Some of your favorite shows maybe that you watch on social media? Anyone got one? What is it, hon? TikTok. Oh, okay. Yeah, anything on TikTok, right? Okay. Anyone else? Anything that was produced in another country that you like to watch? Oh, okay. That's Canada. That counts. It is a foreign country, even though it's next door. Jace, you got any that you can think of, bud? Okay. Durham girls? Any thoughts? No? Okay. All right, well, it's a very, very important tool that we have access to. Now, there's bad stuff on the internet, obviously. We know that. But we have to make use of a tool that God's put in the church's hands that was not available. Okay, now I'm going to tell you how old I am. There was no internet when I was your age. In fact, I'll go a step further. There were no computers when I was your age. And so, yes, I am the Ancient of Days, right? But, so anything you wanted to say, you had to have a microphone. And I'm telling you this, when I started producing videos, it was in the mid-1980s when I started creating programs with video. The cameras, if you can believe this, the cameras were huge, and they were on a big pedestal that was the size of what I'm standing in behind of here, and they were on rollers. The pedestal and the camera, you guys, weighed 800 pounds. Ethan, can you imagine? And there was no way, if you were operating the camera, guys, you had to have someone drag the stupid thing around because it was so heavy. And so this is the thing. We can now record on a camera this size with a SD card that small that if you accidentally coughed and inhaled, you could swallow what you're recording on. I mean, how crazy is that? We've gone that far just in that many decades, actually. So we have global reach for whatever message that we have that God wants us to share. And we have technology now that is so small that you can literally carry it around in your pocket. So again, we live in the best time as far as producing messages that will glorify God that there ever has been. And we know things will just get better and simpler and faster and easier as time goes on. So what you're learning today, when you have grandkids, who knows? Who knows what will even be available, you know? It's a great thought, isn't it? So social media gives you global reach. And yes, TikTok, you don't even need to talk about anything more than TikTok. That's a clear case right there for whatever you say can go anywhere in the world at any time. And I know this years ago, back when I first started doing video, we did some programming that went to the Philippine Islands. And we saw video footage of what the people there lived on. There were people that literally lived on the city dump. They would take pieces of cardboard and metal from the dump and they would build these little shacks. That's how they would live. They had no running water, no electricity, but you know what? They had internet access. They had it. So it doesn't even matter how people are forced to live and what little money they have. They will watch what's produced, especially what comes from America, because we're a pretty big deal around the world. And so they look to us to produce good things that can be sent by social media. So like I said, at the end of what we're doing here, we're going to actually take the chorus of a song and we're going to break it down and we're going to learn how to do video, what you see with what's being said. So we're going to work on that. But when you go to produce a message and put it on social media, there's some very basic questions that you need to ask, and it would be great if you wrote these down. First of all, how do I shape my message for production? How do I shape my message for production? And we've talked about the fact that the more of the five senses we can involve, the better. We've talked about how that our brains process visual information even faster than what we can hear. So keeping all those things in mind and the impact of social media all over the world. But we want to ask, how do I shape my message for production? So by the end of today, I expect that you're going to be starting to think in that way. Okay, this is what I'm hearing. What can I show to make the point clearer or make it stick in people's minds? So you want to ask, how do I shape my message for production? And then from there, your next question that you're going to want to ask yourself, and if you have a group of people working with you, What is the big picture plan? What am I trying to accomplish? With this message that I'm working on, what am I going to try to accomplish? Okay, so some examples. I'll give you one and then you help me out. Give me some others. Okay, I'm just going to, since we're talking about Christian productions, I'm going to throw the easiest one out there. Help people want to know Jesus. If that's your number one goal, okay, that's great. But what could be some other reasons that you would want to produce a message? What other types of things might you want to share? Talk about all the social problems people have, even young people your age. What are some things that are important to tackle as far as, yes, Ella, go ahead and, thank you. Oh, that's hard-hitting stuff, that's great. But yes, it's very real. Okay, you guys give me some other ones. What would be a message you want to get across?
What are some of the things you guys deal with today that you find that the Lord helps you?
Yes, very good,
You guys
Pastor.
growing the things of the Lord.
Go ahead, Pastor.
What are things that you would want to share with other people? The one thing that when Nancy said that she was willing to do this with you guys, I was so excited because some of you come to me and you share what the Lord is doing, and I'm thinking, oh my goodness, this would be so exciting
Oh,
to see that word.
there we
what
go.
God is doing,
There we go.
changing your thoughts,
Mhm.
changing your heart to the things of the Lord,
Mhm.
be able to share that with other people.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
so,
Mhm.
so Miss Nancy, a lot of people today, even young people, and not just younger people, Pastor and I have people that come in our office and we tell them they actually have to take time away from social media
Oh,
because there's not
okay.
self-control
Okay.
with
All
social
right.
media. So some of them may not even know, like TikTok, Miss Tammy is not on TikTok. But my heart for us is, I don't know if you'll even have time today, is show them even one of the videos that Edie, that Lily has done.
Oh, we can do that.
That you have done,
We can do that.
just as something very
Mhm.
minor, but not minor because how many did the one,
Well, we've done 20.
so 20
We've done
videos
20.
for kids.
Yeah.
And it's gone all over the world.
32 nations
32 nations have plugged in
So far.
to these kids' videos.
so far.
And so it just gives you an opportunity to share the gospel in a totally different way.
Mhm.
But not just that, we have young men and young women in here who there's things in the house that you could be a part of.
Mhm.
It might be back there. It might be up there with Mr. Mike. It might be,
Mhm.
so this just is giving you an opportunity to learn a couple of different things.
Mhm.
Actually, it was Jace's uncle.
Jace's
who went to
uncle.
school.
Yeah, Specs Howard, very
Yes.
respected video school.
So.
Yes, very good. Yeah,
I just thought this might get you guys
Yeah.
interested.
yeah. Can we,
So what are some things
yeah,
then that the Lord has been doing in you, or that you would want to share with other young people about
Yes.
the things of the Lord?
yes. Your own testimonies even, right, Pastor Tammy? What would be something even from? Yes. Perfect, perfect,
Yes.
perfect.
Yes.
Do you, I don't know if you guys, I don't remember how many years ago it was, but recently there was this whole campaign, it was called the 2-word testimony. Anyone?
That would be fun for all of us.
Do you know, you guys know what I'm talking about? People would have T-shirts and it would say like,
Yes, we did.
depressed, delivered, you know?
Yes, we did that.
Okay, so that's a very practical message. I mean, how many of you know some even kids your own age that are dealing with suicide or depression? Think about it. Thank God you're not raising your hands. But if you were, you could say, you know what? I want to see what I can say about what God can do to keep people my age from getting depressed, to get them out of the thoughts of suicide. Does this make sense, you guys? Okay, so again, you literally have the whole world at your fingertips now.
And that's maybe something, an action that we can even do later, to where you guys get used to sharing with people. And
Yes,
that's one of
yes,
the things too.
yes.
It's not just sharing with people, but it's just a camera,
Mm-hmm.
and you gotta think.
Yeah, and this is maybe a good point to bring out, because some of you guys might be sitting there and saying, I don't want to be on camera, I'm too shy. But you know what? never underestimate the fact that even what Daryl is doing a ministry unto the Lord. So whether you are behind the camera, doing the video project, or you're in front of it telling the message, everyone is essential. And really, the team that you never see their faces on the screen, you can't make a production without them.
And you got, yeah, and that's what she's talking about, is the production team.
The production team, absolutely. So we've asked ourselves, how do I shape my message for production, and what is the big picture plan? So we've had several thoughts. You want to throw out anything else that might be a good message that would be so great to get out there? Jace, you got an idea, honey? No? Okay. Anyone else? Judah, what about it? Oh,
Do a whole
yeah.
lesson for kids who don't even know they've heard about Legos, but you could even do a whole introduction on pieces to start. Where do you start with Legos?
Yeah, it doesn't have to be specifically just super spiritual stuff. No. But, I mean, I'm amazed when I see what my grandkids are watching, that stuff that really doesn't have any purpose. We have a purpose, you guys. We have the best purpose in the world for putting, what was it? Legos.
There's no S.
Lego. Okay. 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 So we have a big picture plan question. What about this? Now this is where we get into the detail stuff. How can I script the video and the audio to make my message come across well? How can I script it? When I say script, we're going to take this piece of paper and we're going to learn how to lay it out on paper. Okay, so if anyone has family in the building trades, even the car industry, do the production people just go in and start making a car or a house with no plan? No. If they do, you better run. Do not be anywhere near that project. So there always has to be a plan, and that's what we're going to learn. So how do I script the visual and the audio elements to accomplish the big picture plan and to shape the message that we're trying to get across? Okay, so some other very practical questions that we have to ask ourselves next is, where can I record this? What's going to be my background, my setting? How's this going to happen? Where's the place to be? And so you have to ask all kinds of other questions about that. You know, when you're recording, for example, if you're in a room or you're outside and there's a lot of traffic going by, I mean, that gets technical and that needs to be a whole separate thing on its own. But you have to worry about background noises. That's why it's important to ask yourself, where can I physically record this where I don't get traffic going by, I don't get a crowd of people making noise? So again, very practical questions, but if you don't think about them, trust me, you're going to wish you would have later. So think about that. Where can I record this message, and who's going to be involved? Like we're saying, you have to have a production team. Now, Miss Lily and I and her mama basically were the production team on the second series of our kids program. But truly, you need someone to run camera, you need someone to run sound, you need someone to run lighting. So again, I'm not going to get in the weeds here and get super technical, but when you talk about putting a team together, if you have to do all that yourself and then you're on camera, that's a lot of stress, and things will fall through the cracks. So think about that. You need someone on camera that's actually going to be acting or saying or whatever, but you need other people. You have to have other people. Lighting, sound, and camera. If you've got 3 people in your life that can do those things while you're recording your message, you'll be in pretty good shape. If not, trying to be a whole team by yourself is a lot of problems. There's a lot of problems associated with that. So that brings us to the next thing to talk about. So what you actually put on camera, you guys, That's a very small part of the whole process. Very small. That's the easiest and the quickest part of the whole process. Now, I'm going to throw out something here, and Pastor Tammy will probably be shocked when she hears this herself. When you're editing, you know what editing is, right? Does anyone not know what editing means? They call it trimming and different things, okay? So everyone else knows what editing is. Okay, now, write this down, because trust me, you're going to be glad that you know this before you even get into the process. It takes, depending on how complicated that your project is, it takes between 30 and 60 minutes to get 1 minute of finished video project. So Pastor Tammy, our first episodes that you showed last summer, Pastor Tammy, the first episodes were 15-minute videos, right? Yeah. Now multiply that times hours. And again, back then I was doing everything myself. So if I looked a little stressed, Pastor Tammy, that's why. Okay, I've now gotten a little bit of a team together. So, you know, if you think, hey, I got 15 minutes before my next favorite show comes on TikTok, I can just sit down and whip out a 15-minute edited process program. No. No. You got 15 minutes that you're trying to shoot and produce, you better lay aside 15 hours. I'm just saying, it may come to that. So, does that shock anybody? Does it give you some perspective? An hour per minute, you better count on, especially when you're just beginning.
But you know what? Sometimes when you may not go, you have all this free time.
Yes.
Outside is great.
Yes.
But you know what? It's going to direct you to some things that you can do for the Lord and keep you busy other than...
You won't get bored. You will not get bored.
This part is, we're asking the Lord, what do you have for me? We've been learning downstairs about gifts and talents, and so,
Yes.
asking the Lord, what would you have for me to do? And what part would you have me to play? That's good.
Okay. All right. So now, I'm going to give you the name of it's the video editing software that I use. There's a number of them out there, but this seems to be probably the most popular or common one, and that's Premiere Pro. Adobe is the company, but Premiere Pro, it is a subscription, like everything is these days. You can't get a free edition of that. But write that down someday. I know the church uses it, and you can do it as a team. Premiere Pro you guys use, right, still? Yeah. And you can sign up for the team version where you can share stuff. But here's another really good tool that you want to have available. And there's a free version of this. There's a software called Canva, C-A-N-V-A. There's a free version, and then there's a pro version. Canva will allow you to do 1 million types of graphics for your video production. What I use it for, mostly what I use it for is when I talk about a Bible verse in my kids' program, I put a graphic up behind it. I'm sorry, Hugh?
Becky.
Oh, yes.
Ellie's mom.
Yes.
Yes. So
Okay.
for writing or creating books.
Canva, right, Ellie? She uses Canva. She's very familiar with. So see, you got an inside track right there. But Canva is just awesome. In fact, it has AI with it now. So if you can't find a graphic, you guys, AI will make you one. Free ones for a little bit, then you have to start paying. But anyway, so those are two very valuable softwares that you want to have available. Okay, so we've talked about editing, how long that takes. Let's talk about, we're not going to even go into sound because that needs to be its own class, but very, very basic. There's three camera shots that Daryl's going to help me with. I'm just going to use myself because I don't want to make anyone nervous having your face up there on the screen. There's 3 basic camera shots that you want to know about. So if you write these down, we're going to go from the closest to the largest. Okay. Close up, which you're going to see it just usually CU, close up. And that's going to be on a specific object. So it could be a person's face. Cameras are now so detailed, Pastor Tammy, that you can see the pores and the eyelashes on a person, which is a little scary when you're my age. You don't want to see the wrinkles. Nobody does. But a close-up would be basically like head and maybe top of the shoulders. Okay. So on a person, that would be a close-up. If you're talking about a bottle of water and you're holding it out like this, in a close-up shot, you wouldn't see me. All you would see is my hand in the bottle. Now, why would you want to go that close in on an object, for example? Yes, Judah? Got something? Yeah. But maybe you want to show the audience some details about this bottle of water. A close-up shot's a great way of doing that. Okay? It has a purpose. Yes, Ella, go ahead. Showing the main point? Yes, showing the main point. Okay. Showing the main point, very good. Okay. All right, so a close-up shot is just that. Abbreviation CU. Okay. Now, actually, let me have a couple of people. Give me a couple of volunteers that will stand up here with me. Isn't that amazing how a sibling points to the... Okay, Judah, come up here. We don't have to get you to climb over. Come on up here, honey. So, Lily and Judah, help me out here. You don't have to say anything. Just be here with me. Okay. All right. So, we okay, Daryl? Oh, good. Okay, come on over, hon. Need you closer, because otherwise we're going to have a big wide shot. Okay, so if we have a shot that has just the three of us in it, and you're not seeing the rest of the sanctuary behind us, I mean, obviously there's going to be stuff behind us, but you're not seeing the whole sanctuary, you're just seeing the three of us, that would be an example. Come a little closer a little bit, you guys. That would be perfect. Yes, okay. That would be a medium shot. All right? Okay, thank you guys. You can go sit down. So medium shot. Why would you want to choose a medium shot as opposed to just a close-up? You have a group of people. You have a group of objects. If you have a group of anything, what would happen if you're the viewer and you have a group of objects or people and all you're seeing is one face or one object? What's that going to make the audience feel? Help me out. Somebody. Help me out with this. If you only see one object, but you know there's a group of them there, and you're not getting the video that shows you the full picture, what does that make you feel emotionally? Frustrated? Yeah. Okay? Because you feel like you're missing something. So there are definitely times that you want to choose to do a medium shot on your video as opposed to a close-up. All heads nodding in agreement, you get where we're going with this, right? Okay, now Daryl, give me a wide shot from wall to wall. Can you do that? Now this is what we're going to be working mostly on when we do our script here in a few minutes. All right, now, even if you're just watching the church service online, when do you usually get the wide shots? What part of the service? What, honey? Altar call. Okay. Even go back to the beginning part of the service. We have people on stage playing instruments and singing, right? Okay. There's a time you want to choose what's called a wide shot. So you've got close-up CU, you've got medium shots, you can call it MS, medium shot if you want, on a script. Then you got a wide shot, okay, which would be WS. There's times to choose a wide shot when you got a big group of people. You want to, again, not just focus on one individual. You want people to see the big group. What about this? I don't know. You have a choir back there. You can hear all the voices. If you only saw one face, Ethan, would that make you a little frustrated? Because you know there's more going on, right? You're like, what the heck's going on? I know there's people up there. I can't see them. And you never want to make your audience frustrated. Because what might they do, Ethan, if you make them frustrated long enough? What are they maybe going to go somewhere else, right? They're going to flip on their phone somewhere else. So you don't want to do that. You want to keep the audience. You want to keep them listening to the message. Okay, so we know that the 3 shots are there. So keeping all that in mind, Daryl, I think we're done with all that shot. Ethan, let me have you pass those around, can you? Make sure you have your writing instruments, because we're going to listen to, Daryl, do we have that song, bud? You can just play the whole thing so they can hear it all, then if we have to do it again, we can do. Are we good for that? Okay, so maybe you haven't heard of this band. They're guys that are in their 30s, so I guess you could say they're old, I don't know. But the fact of the matter is, the lyrics that they write are super powerful. So you have that in your hand now. Jace, do you have a paper? Oh, okay. All right, well, we'll just keep talking while the rest of them are getting copies. So what we're going to do today, now we're not going to do any dance, so don't get nervous. But we're going to act like we're going to script, taking something already written. Okay, so here's the beauty of this project we're going to start working on this morning. You don't have to write it. It's already been written. That's why we're going to take a song, and we're going to work with that. Now, maybe Mike is young enough that he grew up in the MTV era, right? Okay. So the rest of, do you even know what MTV is? Do they even have it anymore, guys? They just shut down. Okay. So there was a whole time when teenagers would come home from school and they would watch music video after music video after music video till their eyes would fall out. So putting visuals to the lyrics of a song it's a very powerful way of communicating, because what again about the senses did we say? The more senses that you involve, what's the rest of that, what we said? The learn and remember, or learn and understand. Learn, understand, remember. So the whole idea is you want them to see, you want them to hear. So we're going to pretend like we are going to script a bunch of teenagers doing a dance routine to the chorus of this unspoken song. Now again, no teenagers will be harmed in the making of this script. No one will be required to do a single dance move. Aren't you happy about that? That's where you pull your buddies in that don't know what you're getting them into. See, hey, I got a production. You don't tell them you got to dance. Just kidding. Don't do that to your friends. They may not be your friends anymore. But there probably will be some people that you work with that you go to church here with, or maybe some friends in other churches that would say, hey, I like to dance. I want to get a good message across. I'm in. Count me in. But you have to have a plan. You don't just go start shooting, right? You have to have a plan on paper. So that's where this scripting part's coming in. So what we're going to pretend to do is we're going to take this script once we get our copies, and should we break up into maybe like 2x2s? Would you feel better if you just had a buddy and we worked on the shot, trying to lay out shots, or do you want to try to do it as a group? I have no answers. Somebody help me out. Can we do 2x2s? And would it be better to not have siblings working together if that's the case? I don't know. You don't want to work with your siblings?
No, I would want to.
You would want to work. Okay, you guys, what do you think? Do you want to try that? And you can pick someone besides someone you're related to if you want. I don't know. Okay, let's just keep it as a group then. I'm getting no response, so I guess we just stay together as a team. Okay, we'll walk through this. So if we are going to pretend to script dance moves, everybody with me? dance moves to the lyrics of this chorus. And you'll notice, you know what, I don't have a copy because I think I gave mine to Daryl. Do you have an extra? Okay.
Where is my, okay, so where's Lily, Allie, Nessa? Okay, you girls know how to do this. You've been doing something, so.
Oh, all right. We have professionals among us. That's awesome. Okay, so you'll notice on this script that I did half of the work for you here. You already have something already written, but did you notice that there's just a few words on each line? You see that, right? Because I'm expecting, everybody with me? I'm expecting that there's going to be probably one motion, one move per line on this script. I'm just kind of pre-thinking for us. Okay, you might want to do two, whatever. It's not a hard and fast rule. I'm just trying to help you out here. Okay, so this is going to be a group project, so you're ready to tackle this. Okay, Daryl, if you can play that song for us, bud, I want you to hear how it sounds, and maybe you'll get some ideas for, shots and images that you want to use. If we can get the video with the lyric video on there, that's great. Let me get out of the way.
You had a light till somebody stole it. The words that they said cut you like a knife. They called you a name, you started to own it. You hear the echoes in the dead of night. Tired of the cheap shots coming at you non-stop, leaving marks on your heart like a tattoo. Drowning on the inside, reaching for a lifeline. Let these be the words that you hold on to.
Here's the chorus.
You were loved, chosen, long before the day you were born. You were held, forgiven, treasured more than you'll ever know. When the lies get loud, let the truth ring out. Till the only thing you're listening to is what he says about you. 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 And if the hands that gave you a heartbeat are the same hands that painted the stars, then child of the one true God, tell me how could you not believe with all your heart that you are loved, chosen, long before the day you were born. You were held, forgiven, treasured more than you'll ever know. When the lies get loud, let the truth ring out. Till the only thing you're listening to is what he says about you. 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 Only thing that matters, the only thing that matters is the only thing that matters, only thing that matters, the only thing that matters is you were loved, chosen, long before the day you were born. You were held, forgiven, treasured more than you'll ever know. When the lights get loud, let the truth ring out. Till the only thing you're listening to is what he says about you. 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 It's the only thing that matters. What he says about you. It's the only thing that matters. What he says about you.
Okay, so that's a very good example of how you can produce a very low budget, very easy production, because all of that was graphics that they probably pulled off Canva, or maybe some software, some graphic software that they paid money for. Now, so let's talk a minute about this production. Obviously, this band wrote this song, but was there any acting in it? No. That means they never had to go purchase a camera. They didn't actually have to have a team of 5 or 6 people. They went on Canva, they pulled graphics or whatever software. You can do the text, the written part. It's all there in Canva, a million choices to choose from. Canva, the church uses that program here too. So, very low budget, very easy. All it took was the time to do the editing, to put the video, graphics, and the audio together, okay? But, you know, you have a pretty good group of young people in your, so you could actually do some live stuff. You wouldn't have to just depend on the graphics.
So Miss Nancy, downstairs, some of our kids are actually doing this in some of our worship songs.
Wonderful. That's great. That's great. Okay, so you're already starting. You're already starting to think this way. Okay. All right, so do you see that? I mean, as far as ease, this is the easiest way you can produce a music video. Take something that's written and you just throw graphics on to line up with the words. So, but what we're gonna pretend like we're gonna attempt to do is you have a team of people that want to actually do dance moves to the lines of this chorus. So that's what our pretend project is today. Okay, what you actually do with it, you know, it's totally up to you guys and your pastors. But if we were to start writing down video over here where it says what you see, that's going to line up with what you say, what is said on the audio, I want you to start throwing out some ideas. If you have a group of people dancing, even just 3 or 4, you want to make sure that you have a combination of the 3 types of shots. And what are the 3 types of shots that you would use, camera shots? Close up. What was the second one? Help me out. Don't make me teach this by myself. Help me out. Go ahead, Ella. What? Okay, there's a wide shot, close up. What's the one in between? Medium. Thank you, Ella. Medium shot. Okay, so you got 3 shots. Make use of all 3. Because you know what? If you just do a wide shot for an entire routine like this, boring, right? You want to see some close-up action. So keep in mind you got 3 different, I mean there's more, but we're just going to keep it basic. There's 3 types of camera shots you can do. So if you have a group of people actually doing a dance, you can choose between those 2. Now a suggestion, if you're going to do a live production, start with a wide shot. Talk to me again about what happens to your audience if you know there's a bunch of people and you're only seeing one. What's going to happen? Frustration. Why would you want to frustrate your audience right up front, Ellie, right? Why would you want to lose them maybe? So if there's a group of people dancing, start with a wide shot. Make sure that you show everybody. But you don't want to just stay there because people will get what? If all you're seeing is just the group? Bored? Okay. So I'm just going to throw that out. We're going to start with a wide shot at the beginning, maybe before we even get to the word chorus. See, there's blank space written. There's blank space to write even above where it says chorus on the right. You could put wide shot of the group. Wide shot of a group shot. Wide shot of the group would be great. Now, talk to me about hand or body motions. We have the wide shot. Let's go to the next shot. Hand or body motions that would show you are loved. Throw some ideas out. Okay, thank you, Nathan. Nathan's doing this. Okay, you got any other ones? Because, you know, there's not just one answer to this question, but what's going to be the best choice? So what's another option besides doing the pounding heart? Okay, you. So pointing you. So on that line, there would be two things we want to show. Pointing you, right? You're pointing at the camera, obviously, but you are loved. Okay. Any other thoughts on what would get that message, you and loved, across? Any other options you can think of? Any at all? Guess not. Okay. So pointing to the camera, in this case, you are loved. Okay, now, so that's what we want to have on camera. How do we want to, what kind of shots do we want to use on that first line, you are loved? We can mix it up. How can we best communicate you are loved? What are some thoughts? Okay, what kind of a shot and where, Nathan? So a couple of, oh, okay. Okay, so you could possibly do a close-up of the pointing of just one person, or maybe a medium shot with a couple of people pointing. Okay, so you guys, are you in on this now? See how we're doing this? And again, don't worry about giving a wrong answer. There's only choices, you guys, and better choices, okay? Does that take some pressure off? Today, there are only choices and better choices. There are no wrong answers, okay? So you could do a close-up of one person pointing their finger. You could do a medium shot of 3 or 4 dancers pointing their finger at the camera. If you choose, you could make that part of your opening shot, which is a wide shot of the whole group pointing at the camera. What would be most effective to get the point across that it's you we're talking to? Again, there's only choices and better choices today, so no wrong answers. What would we want to write down as our top choice of how to get the message across the most that it's you watching this video we're talking to? Yes, Ella, go ahead.
I think what I would do is if I had like 3 dancers that I just practiced with,
Uh-huh.
if I had middle dancers,
Yeah?
I would zoom in on them
Uh-huh.
and like a close-up shot
Uh-huh.
of them doing that.
Them pointing.
Camera.
Okay.
Pointing
So you're talking bigger finger, bigger message getting across.
Yeah.
Is that the idea?
Yeah.
Okay, we can take that, right? Yes? Okay. Big finger, big pointing. Think about this. You've watched a video with animals, right? Maybe a dog sniffing around on the ground, and all of a sudden the dog's nose is right in the camera. Does that get your attention? Big nose. Wow. Okay, so kind of the same idea, big finger. You're not going to be able to get away from the fact that you are the one that we're talking to in this video. Okay, so we could write that down. A close-up, dancer in the middle, finger pointing close-up right at the camera. So do you see why that would work? Right? Ethan, does that work? Okay. So let's go back where we started. We have a wide shot of the whole group, so we know there's a bunch of people here that are going to be dancing. But then we cut to a close-up of a finger pointing right in the camera. See, that works. That's going to be okay, isn't it? To go from that to that. Because, the camera's going to act like your eyes. It's going to zoom in on a particular thing. So we have the first line, pointing the finger, and then the heart. How do we want to show the heart? Does that want to be a close-up, a medium shot, or a wide shot with the heart pounding? Again, no bad choices, just choices and better choices today. Medium, so close-up on the finger, medium shot, several hearts beating. Give me a nod, a shake, or something, you guys, because I'm not sure that you're awake. Okay, Jace, what do you think? You agree with them? Okay, so medium shot, several hearts beating. So we have an individual finger, we have a wide shot, we have an individual finger, and now we have a medium shot of several hearts beating. We're good so far? So far, so good? That's only line 1. Now, this is going to take a little brain power. Chosen. How are we going to show chosen? Oh, a finger pointing down at the next dancer? Okay. Talk to me, because this is your show. What do you think, honey? Chosen? Okay, so the whole person, your whole person. Okay, so we have two things now. Doing this to show you, or we have, did we say a dancer pointing at the next dancer? Okay, only choices and good choices, hey, no wrong choices. Give me some other choices. Chosen. A crown of thorns. Okay. 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 Again, no wrong answers, just choices and better choices. Okay. Anything else? Oh, yeah.
Maybe we can have like the dancers like turn to each other
Uh-huh.
and then point at each other maybe.
Oh, all right. Another choice. Let's talk about that. Dancers turning to each other and pointing.
Oh, you could also, if you had 5 dancers,
Uh-huh.
the 2 on the sides, on each side, could
Uh-huh.
point to each other, and the person in the middle could point to the camera.
Oh, okay. All right. Now this is good. We're getting some ideas flowing here. Anyone else want to jump in there? Any other thoughts? Okay. All right. Then let's back up. Chosen, do we want to make that a wide shot, the whole group? Do we want to make it a medium shot? Do we want to make it a close-up? How's best going to get that idea across of chosen? If we do the group doing pointing, we have to have what? You don't want to close up on that. Okay, so again, are you beginning to see how you have to put these things together to get what you want to actually have on video? Okay. All right. Any other thoughts on the chosen? Ethan, any thoughts more? No? We're good with what we got? Okay. Now, a long line comes next. Long before the day you were born. How on earth are we going to show that? Throw some thoughts out there, and even some camera shots if you want. Long before the day you were born. How are we going to show that? Long before the day you were born. Okay. So a circle with the hands maybe for the first part. Okay, what about the born part? Any thoughts? A pregnant lady? Oh! We have Canva. Images are free, right? Okay, maybe a pregnant mama rubbing her tummy. Sorry, am I cheating by giving you suggestions? Okay, but isn't this good? See, we're getting some ideas rolling around, aren't we? Okay, so long before the day you were born. That's okay. We're getting the idea there. If it's a pregnant mama, obviously a wide shot, probably not the best choice, right? What would you want to do? A close-up? Do you even have to see the mom? Is it necessary to see all the mom? No? So what do we want to do with that? The shot, as far as the shot composition, what do we want to do? A close-up? Okay, of just this part of her body where the baby is. Maybe she's rubbing the tummy. Don't need the whole mom, because if you had the whole mom, this is something else to keep in mind about close-ups. If you cut everything else out, you're cutting out any distractions of other things in the shot that they could be focusing on. So close-up shots are very effective for that. They show you only what you need to see at that split second, or however long you keep that shot going. Okay? So that can be extremely helpful. That's why when we were talking about, the pointing one finger, a close-up of one hand pointing right into the camera, you're not seeing anything else, and the message is very clear, right? You. Okay. So you're seeing how this works now a little bit, right? So long before the day you were born, so we cut away from the group and we put in a graphic or a video clip at that point. It'd have to be a video clip if there's action. She's rubbing her tummy. A video clip goes in at that point. Okay? Very good. Now, this should be a simple one. You are held. What are we going to do with you are held? Whoop. Okay. Yep. So, okay, so the you, again, what are we going to say about, what are we going to do with you? What are we doing with you? Okay, now, do we want a group shot of you, a medium shot of yous, or close-up of pointing? We've already done a close-up of pointing. Should we mix it up a little this time? Medium? Ethan, what do you think? Medium shot, people pointing this time? Okay, so you are, and then held, what are we going to do? Like this? Hold people? Okay, all right, so we have some choices. And again, it's totally your decision how you think best will, what type of a shot will show that. But the idea, you got the image in your mind of how you want to show that. Okay, very good. Now, this should be a fun one, this next line. Let's look at that. Treasured more than you'll ever know. Kind of a complicated idea, so it's probably going to take several images, several visuals to show that, right? So what are we going to do with that? Treasured. How are we going to show treasure? We can use graphics too, remember. We can pull something off of Canva. So how would we show treasured? Okay, pretty simple one, right? A treasure box full of coins or jewels or whatever. Any other thoughts on just the concept of treasured? Again, only choices and better choices today. No wrong choices. Anything? No? Okay, so should we go with the treasure chest, guys? Does that work? Treasure chest? Okay. So we got treasured nailed down. More than you'll ever know. How are we going to show that? More than you'll ever know. Any thoughts? No? Okay. All right. If we were to say, put an image up that would show more than you'll ever think, what might that look like? You're treasured more than you'll ever think. Okay, there we go. We got two pointing at the head. What about it, guys? What do you think? Jace, does that work? More than you'll ever think? No? All right. So treasure chest, you're treasured more than you'll ever know. That works? Yes? We have a nodding of heads. That's good. Okay. When the lies get loud, who knows? Maybe someone's going to be watching this video and they're dealing with depression and they're thinking about suicide. Pretty powerful stuff, isn't it? How can we show them on video something different? When the lies get loud, the lies of you should just off yourself and you should be depressed because nothing's ever going to work right. How can we show them a message of hope there? When the lies get loud, how are we going to talk about lies visually? When the lies are sounding loud. Any thoughts? I know it's this kind of a complex line here, but it's good to get. Oh, okay. Now, could we even maybe like use some costuming to get that point across? Would we want like, I'm just saying, guys in white saying stuff, pointing? I'm giving you the opposite answer for a reason. Guys all dressed in white. No. What would we? How about guys all, doesn't have to be men, guys, but people dressed in black, black hoodies. See where I'm going with this, Nathan? Okay, I like your idea. Yeah, there you go. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Because is bullying an issue? Is it a huge issue? Then why not talk about it in a music video where we can give them hope? Okay, so I'm kind of cheating and giving you some answer ideas. Some people in black around the one person, and they're just wailing on this person. They're talking, they're saying mean things, they're pointing fingers, whatever. Does that would that help get the point across when the lies get loud? Okay, anything else you'd want to put on the screen to help make that point? Okay, now again, what kind of shot do you want for that? Do you want a wide shot, medium shot, close up? You got maybe a few people around this one person and they're bullying them. Uh-huh. Oh, look at this. What an idea. Yes, and keeping this in mind, that's a good thing to bring up right now. You can transition between two types of shots. It happens all the time, and it's done on purpose for that very idea. Maybe you start with the close-up of the person, and they're in agony because they're looking up at all this, however you want to show that visually. So you start with the close-up there. You guys with me? Start with the close-up, and then you start, when you make the shot wider, you can call that zooming. You zoom out or you zoom in from a medium shot to a close-up would be zooming in, for example. Zooming out would take you from, say, a close-up to a medium shot or a wide shot. So if you wanted to start with the close-up of the person in agony, their face as a close-up, and then you zoom out, and now you're seeing the 2 or 3 people that are bullying them, and you could use blurring effects, all kinds of special effects, but do you see how that could get that point across? Can I have some nods, some shaking of heads, something? Yes. Okay, very good. Very good. When the lies get loud, now comes the hope. Let the truth ring out. How are we going to show let the truth ring out? Only choices and better choices today. Pointing to God? Okay, what else that God gives us, perhaps, that you could put on the screen? Oh, thank you. What a thought. Yes. A lot of happiness, the word truth. Yeah, and keeping in mind also that, yes, Pastor Tammy is right. You saw these guys do it all through this video. You can just put a single text, put the text of a single word up there. Lies. You might put lies. Let it even float around that shot where the guys are bullying the person. Are you with me? Let the Bible fall and smash all the bullies. Yeah. Maybe no violence in this video. I don't know. But okay, but you're getting the idea. Let the truth ring out. And you can actually put the word truth up on your screen. It could be somewhere around the people. So again, we're getting the idea of how we can make this the message can be very powerfully video impact-wise as well as just what we say or what we're singing. Okay. All right. We're almost there because all we have to do is, just a few more things here. Till the only thing you're listening to is what he says about you. It's a long section there, but how are we going to show that visually? Till the only thing you're listening to is what he says about you. Now, maybe we take Nathan's idea of blurring part of what's on screen. I don't know, just throwing that out since someone mentioned it. How can we show till the only thing you're listening to is what he says about you? Okay, just going to throw out another idea. Sorry, I'm cheating here. If there were some phrases, you guys listening? If there were some phrases on screen with the part about the lies, there were actually some phrases that people might bully other people with. Okay, what could you do about till the only thing you're listening to? What could you do visually with those phrases? Huh? Put an X over them? What else could you maybe do? Maybe the blur thing, Nathan? You blur the word, blur them so you can't see them. Ella, what? Make them disappear. Fade them out. Fade them out. So they're just not there. Okay? Very good. So the only thing you're listening to is what he says about you. Now, since the opening line is you are loved, what do you think? Should we show that is truth? And someone mentioned the Bible. Could we put an image of a Bible And maybe, just for example, I know I'm cheating again, type the words "you are loved" over the Bible. See what I'm saying? It's not complicated. The ideas don't have to be complicated, but they can be very effective if you just show. Yes, go ahead, Ellen.
You could also like open the Bible.
Uh-huh.
And, like maybe zoom on a certain verse.
Thank you. John 3:16, for God so loved the world. Absolutely. Again, only choices and better choices today. So you could use any or all of that, depending on how much editing you want to do. Okay? All right, so we're working our way down. Now, just repeating is what he says about you. So whatever you've done to depict what he says about you, you just can repeat that again or keep it up on the screen. That's the beauty of repeating a line. You already have the visual part worked out. You just keep on with that. Okay, and then the bridge, one final thing we have to make a visual for. The only thing that matters. How are we going to show the only thing that matters? The only thing that matters, guys. How are we going to show that? Now, I really, really like this blurring idea. Just saying. Could we use that? Only thing that matters. Ethan, what do you think? Could we blur something? What could we blur, buddy? So easy, but so effective, right? The only thing that ends up showing up is just the person that's been bullied, and they found the word of God to be something they can hang on to. Everything else blurs. Very easy, right? Okay. So, how about that? We have just scripted. You know, you want to go back and put in your shots. You know, what's the best choice for a wide, medium, or close-up shot with every line? But you've basically scripted part of a song just now. Do you feel proud of yourself? You pat yourself on the back. All right, good job. That's as simple as it is. But to not go in with a plan is crazy.
I think this Nancy today gave you all another avenue of sharing the gospel.
Absolutely.
Sometimes,
Absolutely.
you know, we have so much in us that maybe we feel nervous about getting up at the pulpit, or maybe we feel nervous sharing with somebody at school. And yet, you know, with Miss Nancy, I'm thinking, oh my goodness, I need cameras and I need all this stuff. But when and I should have confessed to my friend, Canva is great. I'm just not good at bringing it all in. But if you have somebody else that's good with something,
Okay, if we could, Daryl, just do one thing that Pastor Tammy mentioned. Could we?
okay, these are some of the ones that Nancy has done. Now, Eden, here, sit down, because we have Uncle Adam. She's had Adam in them. She's had Mary and.
Yeah, which one would you like me to play? One with Lily or one with Adam?
Oh, either one. It's fine.
Lily, are you okay, baby, if we play yours? Okay, she's good. Can you pull up that first one right there? It's just been on 2 days, Daryl. God's armor. Uh-huh. Yeah, so I'm gonna tell you this just from a thing that Lily and I have talked about this, and it's good for all of you to know. Whether you're on the production team or you're actually on camera, if God's given you a creative talent, again, whether it's the technical stuff or the acting stuff, always keep yourself focused on the fact that you do not have a gift from God to do creative things. Lily, what's our answer? The gift has you, right? Okay? You don't have God's gift. None of us have God's gift. God's gift has us. Why is it important to remember that? Who does that put the focus on always? God. You're just a vessel. He's the gift. Whatever He shares with you, okay, it's from Him. It's not coming out of your own brain. So, Daryl, how are we doing on that? I'm gonna step out of the way. Now I wrote the music, I wrote the songs, I wrote the script, but Lily did the very important part of being a cute little puppet. And that is Canva graphics, by the way.
Praise hallelujah, glory to ya, God kind of day. A joy-erific, just terrific day to sing and say, my Father God sees me and knows what plan He has for me. That's why today I shout and say, it's a joy-erific day. Join me now for a sing-along called Joy-erific Day.
Hi, I'm Noni, and this is my Island Paradise Flower Market. This is my friend Blossom.
Hello.
Blossom, did you know that the Bible teaches us about a kind of spiritual protection that we can put on every day?
No, Noni, tell me more about it.
Romans 13 tells us to cast off the works of darkness and let us put on the armor of light. God gives us spiritual armor that is from His kingdom, the kingdom of light. There is no darkness in His kingdom, Blossom. Ephesians 6 explains all about the armor and why we need to use it.
Can you explain more?
Sure. The scripture tells us to put on the full armor of God so that we may be able to stand against the tricks of the devil. Verse 12 adds, because we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but we do wrestle against top spiritual rulers with powers of darkness in this world and in the heavens above.
Wow, Noni, I did not know we were all in a battle every day. God is good to give us what we need to get victories in this fight.
Right. The next verse tells us what to do. Get a hold of the full armor of God so that you may be able to keep standing and resisting evil that you face daily. And having done all of this work, fully using this armor, you will stand your ground.
So, Noni, are these evil enemies people?
Well, Blossom, actually, the devil uses people that are willing. But the source, of course, of the evil is spiritual, not always seen with the eyes. Evil starts with thoughts that we get tempted with to do wrong. Later on, the Apostle Paul, who wrote this, calls these thoughts fiery arrows.
So these aren't arrows or weapons that we can see?
No, Blossom, we can only see the effects that they have on someone's actions. Understand?
Like what kind of thought arrows?
Well, here's an example, Blossom. Fear is a very common thought arrow that the devil uses against people. Say that, for example, you take your friend to the lake to swim. Only as you just waded to the shallow water, you notice her resisting and tugging at your hand to not go into the water. Then, when you turn around to see what's wrong, she screams at you and calls you mean names.
Oh, that happened to my friend one time. Her friend was afraid of the water and she said terrible things to my friend when she was just trying to bring her into the water to swim.
Yes, see, that's how thought arrows and the thought arrow of fear can work. The fear was from the devil. The thought of danger in the water was from that fear. The really mean words and actions followed as evidence of that fear.
Yeah, my friend was really hurt by the mean words that girl spoke to her. She was even beginning to not trust the girl and doubted that she was really her friend.
Yes, that is how thought arrows work, Blossom. Maybe the thought arrow could have affected even the girls' moms if they heard the conversation and came to defend their daughters too. See, that's how the devil works. trying to do the most damage possible in a situation.
So that's how the evil enemy of fear does so much damage?
Yes, these evil weapons cause damage both spiritually and physically.
You're right, Noni, it sure did.
Can you see how one spiritually powered weapon hurt more than just one person, Blossom, when it was acted upon?
You're right, Noni, it sure did.
Are you getting the idea how these spiritual weapons, fiery thought arrows, work against us to bring defeat instead of spiritual victory in our lives?
I sure do. What if the fearful girl hadn't acted on her fear? Would that be okay?
No, Blossom, fear is very harmful if allowed to stay inside of someone. God's perfect love for us is our provision always. The Word of God tells us that there is no fear in love, but God's perfect love throws fear down because fear holds and produces torment inside of us. Another Bible version says, "So the one who is afraid isn't matured to grow into a correct understanding of God's love." The next verse says, "We love because He, God, first loved us."
Wow, this helps me understand a lot, Noni. I can't wait to learn more about this armor that God gives us.
Right. So much to learn in the coming episodes, Blossom. So join us next time as Blossom and I explain more about God's armor for our victory in life.
See you soon. Bye-bye.
Music behind this song, the Lord gave me how to write it, but Adam and James Shively did the music for it. So this is all their instrumentation.